What's up, y'all? I'm Ron from Around Our Hype, and this is the art of creating yourself, a place where artists and creators alike get to share their unique perspective on how they create themselves every day. And we are back with one of the Bay Area's finest. I'll let this man introduce himself, but say hi to the people at home. What you doing?
Show enough, show enough. So my name is Jamel Griot. I am a lyricist, poet, actor. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
also, I am from East Oakland. You know what I'm saying? Born in East Oakland, raised in Pittsburgh, California. Representing heavy for both cities. You know what I'm saying? Bloodline runs deep in both. So yeah, man, representing Oakland and Pittsburgh, California. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, I have done a lot up to this point in the underground scene of music, and it's just about that time to take it to the world, you know?
As the artist formerly known as Infamous Taz, um, let's talk about that for a second. Let's talk about that before we even get into Jamel Griot. Let's talk about where you're coming from,
Okay.
right? So when you first born the name Infamous Taz, what did it mean to you then when you first started, and what did it mean to you now as you transfer?
Um, really, you know what I'm saying? It really just started with the name Taz, you know what I'm saying? And it really meant nothing more to me than a cool nickname at first. You know, like my brother gave me that nickname when I was in the third grade. We was like it was kind of that point in time, bro, where you kids, you kicking it around, all of your influences. It can be your friends, it can be your brother, it can be your cousins, whatever. But it's like we all have that moment as little boys where it's like we want to create our own crew. It's like we want to
Yeah.
have a dope crew name. Everybody got to have a dope nickname and shit. And I remember at that time we was going off of cartoon characters and shit, specifically Looney
Mm.
Tunes, but the only well, to be a bean, it seemed like we was pushing the whole Looney Tune thing at first, but the only two people that had Looney Tune nicknames was me and my cousin Sleeze, yo. Like he was Bugs. He was like, known as Bugs Bunny or whatever and shit, you know what I'm saying? Me, I think I gave him that nickname because I always roasted him about his teeth. You know what I'm saying? He had some real buck teeth back when we was kids. So he grew into it now, but it's like he had some real buck teeth back when we was kids. So I'm like, yeah, that's Bugs right there. And me, I didn't have a name and shit. Everybody had their nicknames and shit. I didn't have mine, and my brother gave me the name Taz, and it was pretty fitting. I was a little kid with anger issues that was always running through the house, hella hyper and shit like that, putting holes in walls. So it made a lot of sense. You know what I'm saying? It definitely made a lot of sense because it's like I'm naturally a hyper ass person anyway. I don't really show that all the time, but it's like if you're around me long enough, you're gonna be like, hey, yo, this nigga tripping. Like, but yeah, bro, like, so that was that, and really that was something that stuck with me since like the third grade, really, you know what I'm saying? Like, and at that time, that's like, how I introduced myself to people and all of that shit. So as I got older, it just became the
Mm.
thing. It's just like, yeah, that's Taz. You know what I'm saying? I had other nicknames or whatever and shit throughout time, but the name Taz always stuck like a government name. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm.
really, I was like much rather, like at that time, I was preferring to be called Taz over my name Jamel because like I said to you before, everybody always got my damn name wrong, yo, and I would have to correct everyone all the time. Like, is it Jamil? Is it Jamal? Like, it's like, no, it is Jamel, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I got tired of
Yep.
doing that, so I just introduced myself to everybody as Taz, you know what I'm saying? And that's what niggas in the streets end up knowing me for and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? So when I think about the name Taz now, I think of it as a period of time where, like, I was growing up in Pittsburgh and shit, you know what I'm saying? My first taste of like, music life, street life and shit like that. Cause it's like, my family always been tied into the streets on some hustling shit. I would even took my crack at it as far as on some hustling shit, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, that was just kind of the thing. Everybody in the hood knew me as Taz. The infamous part, that that's the funny part, cause My name was actually a lot longer than that at one point, yo. Like,
Mm.
when I first started like selling mixtapes around my neighborhood and shit like that, which was like around high school time, I went by the infamous Lil Taz. That was the name at first. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to just be
Okay.
known as Taz, but at that time I even knew there's too many people with the nickname Taz. And I'm like, how do I make this shit stand out? I watched the documentary on Nas one day, you know what I'm saying? Which is
Mm.
like, the documentary that damn near got me a little bit more serious about rapping. Cause I was like, used to sound like Lil B when I was rapping back then. And then I heard New York State of Mind and I was like, oh shit, I gotta switch this up. Like, so yeah, like, and I noticed when he put out his first album, he was Nasty Nas before he was just Nas. You know what
Mm.
I'm saying? So I'm like, ooh, I want something that kind of come off like that, where it's like, yo, I got that extra prefix in my name, but by the time I'm solidified in the industry, drop all that shit and just be my name. So I'm like, all right, and I came up with the longest fucking prefix possible. You know what I'm saying? And then over time, I end up shortening that to Infamous Taz because that was what people usually always remembered. If they didn't call me Taz, they would be like, "Oh, Infamous Taz, right?" And I'm like, "Nah, it's the infamous Lil Taz." And I just realized how stupid that sounded after a while. So I'm like, bro, let's just shorten it to Infamous Taz and shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I like had been rocking with from, like, I would say, like, by the time I started putting my music on all streaming platforms, it was like just strictly
Mm.
Infamous Taz. Like before, I was putting out like videos on YouTube, and I had my music on like CDs and shit like that. And the only person that had my music on all platforms was this one cat I used to run with at the time and shit. You know what I'm saying? He had ended up putting that on there, but he kind of like did that for himself, pocketed the money or whatever sort of change he got from that shit, and he never really taught me how to do that myself. So by the time
Mm.
I ended up putting my music on all streaming platforms, like that was like 2018, and that was when I was known as Infamous Taz, and from there, that's when I came back to Oakland and started doing all these shows and shit. So yeah, that's where the name Infamous Taz come from, and when I think of it now, I think of like a underground king because I feel
Mm.
as though I went through all of the steps possible to be an underground nigga. You know what I'm saying? And to be solidified in that, where it's just like, yo, this is the dude to go to when you want to go to the sewer. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm like growing out of that shit. You know what I'm saying? And I want to see what's up with the
Mm.
industry. You know?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And now, like you say, you've kind of grew out of Taz, right? You're no longer like a Looney Tune. You're
Yeah,
like a full sprouting human now. Like you're in your adult phase of whatever you got going on, and now you're just Jamel Griot,
yeah, yeah.
right?
Uh huh.
So I wanted to ask, why now, and what does Jamel mean to you?
Okay. Well, first, just to be funny, if I just put the shit up on my gram today, which is hella funny.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Because like my name Jamel is literally Arabic for handsome. You know what I'm saying? If
Mm,
niggas do not believe me, yo, like go look it up. Or if you got, you know what I'm saying, an Arabic partner, they'll tell you like, oh yeah, the handsome
mm,
fella.
mm.
But man, the
Yeah.
funny thing is, yo, it's like there's a multitude of things of like why now. Uh, One, I'm in the middle of making this EP. This EP
Mm,
is called Broken Healer, and
mm,
this represents a lot because it's like I'm talking about my emotions on this shit, and I realized that I haven't
mm,
necessarily ever really tapped into that. I really only gave people like my thought process, these bars and shit, but I've never given people like my emotions. And it's like a lot of shit that I do is emotionally tied to like women and shit. You know what I'm saying? The different women that I've
mm,
encountered and all of this shit like that. So I'm like, I never went into depth about that. Like, if you talk to me, I can give you
yeah.
like all sorts of relationships advice and all this shit, tell you what I've been through with like the numerous of women that I've been with and all this shit like that. But it's like, I haven't put that in my music. So that was a thing that I wanted to like actually touch on. And it was like, yo, like even the term broken healer just comes from like, a sense of feeling like even though I'm a broken person, I still want to heal others. And a lot of times that happens in, different situationships or relationships that I've been in and shit, right?
Mm.
And while doing this shit, yo, it's just like I kept making the music and it was just coming out so fire. It's like it just sounded like it was industry ready and all the shit, yo. And it was like, finally I'm making some shit that I feel as though that, people can really relate to. But it just didn't fit my name. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm speaking on some like, shit that's realer than what I've spoken on before because it's like before all I gave people was like just a small bit of my background history.
Mm.
Like, I ain't even give a lot. Like, there's still a lot that people don't know about me. There's still a lot people don't know that I've been through and things of that nature. Even though I've said a lot in my music and shit like that, yo, it's just like, it's always been driven towards like bars, towards lyricism and shit like that. And that's something I stand on. But at the same time, it's like with me getting more into my artistry, I just felt like the name didn't really fit anymore because I'm just like, yo, even when you think of like the name Taz, like, as far as my rap style and shit, like my rap style, like I always rap fast as hell, you know what I'm saying? So that was
Mm.
another reason why it made sense, you know what I'm saying? But I just started making different music, man. Like
Mm.
even like the shit that I did, like the song Reservations, it was different, you know what I'm saying? The song Make a Way, it was different, you know what I'm saying? Like even on the corner, the shit that I did with KD, it's like to a point where yeah, I'm rapping fast on there and shit like that, but it's like I'm giving it to you in a different way, you know what I'm saying? It's like to
Mm.
be a bean, I like was more so of a curator on that track, you know what I'm saying? Like I kind of
Mm.
wanted KD to outdo me on that shit, yo, because I knew he was gonna have the last verse. So I'm like, yo, kill it. You know what I'm saying? And as Infamous Taz, I never let that shit happen, yo. It's like I'm I was more gun hold on like if you a feature with me, you better know how to keep up because I'm gonna gas the shit out of you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And not to say I still don't carry that same hunger and shit. I just have more of a hunger of making better music now.
Mm.
So it's like if it serves a strong purpose for the song, then I'll be on that more than my own personal um opinion as far as like or my personal drive as far as like yo I gotta be the best rapper out of everybody and it's like I still feel that way like it's hip-hop like like but at the same time though it's like when you really get into really making good music it's like that shit comes secondary, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, I would say on a musical standpoint that was like a reason that I wanted to change things. But also, like, to be transparent, I dealt with a loss like a little while ago. You know what
Mm.
I'm saying? My pops had passed away. And
Sorry for your loss, bro.
it's all good. It's all good, man. But we had a very tumultuous relationship to say the least. It's
Mm.
a lot that I can speak on, but I'll save that for another record. You know what I'm saying?
100%, yeah.
Uh, But with that being said, though, he's the one that named me Jamel. You know what I'm saying? My pop's name was James, and his whole idea after my older brother was born and my brother became the third of the Jameses and shit. By the time I came in, he was like, "Yo, let's name him after me, but drop the S and put an L right there." Like to be a
Mm.
bean, we thought he made the shit up. Like, so so it was kind of wild, yo, when I got a little older and started meeting different people with my name and shit, and then finding out that my name is Arabic and shit like that. It's like, it's crazy. Like, because it was like, that was a total accident. Like, but yeah, though, you know what I'm saying? Like, after he had passed away, I mean, I didn't really think of it, you know what I'm saying, as this until after the fact. But
Mm.
after I was very adamant about changing my name and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, it occurred to me like, damn, I'm reverting back to the name that like he gave me. So it's like, that made it more of a monumental thing and shit, you know what I'm saying? Cause yeah, like he passed away like literally like in October of last year. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm.
so yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, so with that being said, bruh, it was just kind of served the purpose of like, damn, I'm, representing that as well and shit. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it just felt like it was time, man. It just really felt like, yo, I'm about to really walk into a different phase of my life. I'm about to walk into different successes of my life. And the music that I'm making, the goal that I have as far as to be in this industry and not be so anti-industry where it's like, oh, fuck these labels, fuck the record execs, and all this other shit like that. Because that's
Mm.
what more so the shit I used to be on. Like I was like a lot more militant. I'm still militant, but it's like I'm more militant with a cause now. You know what I'm saying? Rather
Mm.
than being militant without a pause. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm.
so with that being said, Joe, I'm like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I'm moving into a more mature place in my life, but actually even a place of like, yo, I don't even want to be boxed in. I've had this like conversation with my circle for a long time. And to be honest with you, I've been wanting to change my name for a long time. It's just I never could find anything that felt more authentic than Infamous Taz at the time, yo. But
Mm.
deciding to just go with my government name, I've thought of that before, but it just didn't feel right at the time. But now, yo, it's like I feel like doing this shit, you know what I'm saying, is definitely going to allow me to go outside the box. Because I feel like with Infamous Taz, it was always something to be expected. Like, oh yeah, he about to come on this track, he about to be rugged, he about to rap his ass off, you know what I'm saying? He about to talk about the system, maybe, you know what I'm saying, or you gonna diss these record labels, maybe, you know what I'm saying? He gonna probably be on some boom bap shit. Like, it was a lot to be
Yeah.
expected,
Mm.
and that wasn't the mode I was always in, bro.
Yeah.
Certain people, like it'd be funny, bro. Like I got like industry friends and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And I remember, and I remember one of my homies just being like, "Oh yeah, yo, like that nigga Taz, he don't listen to nothing but Talib Kweli and shit, bro." And I'm like, what the fuck you mean? I'm like, only like one song by him, bro. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, like all this other shit I be listening to, bro. Like I really be all over the place. But that's the thing. Like people wouldn't know that off of how I presented myself for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
I've been in the public eye for 5 years, and really, my whole intention at the time was just showing people how dope I am at rapping, and just finally getting off a lot of shit that's been stuck in my head, you know what
Mm.
I'm saying? Like all of my ideologies, the way I think, my beliefs and things of that nature was a lot more important to me at that time than actually telling you who I was as a person. Like
Mm.
so when people know that hey, dude believes in meditation, dude believes in, fighting against the government, dude believes in this, that, and the other and shit, it makes you see me as like a activist rather than a human being. So I'm like, yeah, I've been kind of like, out of touch with people in a way because I've just been
Mm.
stuck in my own ideology of things. Like, I'm not even talking about regular day life shit. Like, Johnny May was probably one of the first tracks I made where it was just like, hey, yo, like, this is some regular everyday shit.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with my ideology or anything. This is literally about a piece of my life. You know what I'm saying? And it's not even revolved around one piece of my life because like I feel like the only times I talked about my life was just when I told you where I come from. If I'm telling you like, oh yeah, me and my family was trapping and all this shit, it's like that's the only time I ever mentioned a piece of my life, and even then I haven't even went in depth with that. It's
Mm.
like so much that niggas don't know about me, and I felt like with the name Infamous Taz, it kept me in a certain box of just delivering what I felt as though that people wanted from me, which is what they did want. It's like
Mm.
once I saw that, oh yeah, like this is what people want me to talk about. I went with that, and I didn't go with what I wanted to go with. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
But with the name Jamel Griot, I can literally do fucking anything. I can make records that people have heard from me before. I can make, you know what I'm saying, a fucking R&B fused record, a rock fused record. Um, I can literally do any fucking thing, and that was more so of a thing. I wanted to creatively be out of that box that I've been placed in for the last, like, 5 years. You know what I'm saying? And I feel
Mm-hmm.
like I placed myself there, but at the same time, though, it's just that's because I felt that this was what everyone expected of me. Now, with me going by my actual name, I throw out all expectations because it's
Mm-hmm.
like if I'm giving you a record where it's like, yo, an R&B vibe, I'm rapping slow and I'm even throwing some harmony in that shit. It's kind of like, how does this resemble the name Infamous Taz? You know what I'm saying? Like, I even
Mm-hmm.
started to notice that other people was a little confused by that because it's like they'll listen to a song like Reservations and then see the name Infamous Taz, and I started noticing people would ask me after a while, like, how did you even get the name Taz? You know what I'm saying? And that's when I kind of started noticing, like, I'm a lot more relatable than my name. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like, so let me literally show people who I actually am and allow myself to be vulnerable. Like, this is something that, like, my peoples had to force me to do, yo, because I've just always just been on rap shit. I've never
Yeah.
been as vulnerable as this new EP is about to be. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that contributed a lot, yo. Like, so yeah, I would say those are the multitude of reasons why, like, I wanted to go with this name change right now. It just felt like the right time. My music is maturing. My sense of artistry is maturing to the point where it's like I don't even gotta always come onto a track mad lyrical. I can literally, just make a vibe for niggas to fuck with, just to have fun with, turn up to and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And these are things that I would be allowed to do with rebranding myself, recreating myself. I'd be able to be a lot more experimental and shit like that, and just not be placed in this box of,
Mm.
just only being a hip hop purist. You know what I'm saying? I'm a lot
Yeah.
more than that.
Yeah. I think a lot of what you're saying is allowing yourself almost the space to evolve, right? Like you're not trapped in this box that you've kind of put yourself in just by almost emulating or living up to your name or living up to part of the experiences that you've been in and not the totality of experiences that you've been in. And
Mhm.
now with um, you know this new chapter, almost you get to break into who you are entirely, wholeheartedly,
Exactly.
with no regrets.
Yeah, for real, bro. Because, like, as Infamous Taz, I was a lot more private, like, people didn't know when I was in love, when I fell out of love. You know what I'm saying? People didn't know what was going on in my family or in my everyday life or just even like, the regular shit that I talk about. You know what I'm saying? It's like I've met certain people that believe that I was only going to talk to them about spirituality and shit.
Mm.
But then when they kick it with me and I'm just like, yo, where the hoes at? You know what I'm saying? It's more so
Oh.
like, oh shit, I ain't expect this. Like, I remember it was one video shoot that I did, right? Shout out to my man Leo. We did this video called 3 a.m. in Oakland, and that was kind of like the first initial catapult into me coming back into Oakland and shit. Because, like I said, I'm from here, but then I ended up moving to Pittsburgh for some years, and then I came back out here. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? So when I came back out here, Leo was one of the first people to, throw me a record that was actually going to get played around the way and shit. And I remember we did the first video shoot to it. I had my partner from Pittsburgh come with me and try to shoot the video. It was terrible, you know what I'm saying? But it was at one point, bruh, like it was like, you know what I'm saying? We at this one spot called One Fam Cafe in like the
Hmm.
lower bottoms of West Oakland and shit. I'm over here off hella Hennessy, and we walked outside and shit, and it's a bunch of women that was like dancing around and all the shit. And I just end up dancing with them and shit, yo. And one of my homies had to pull me out the mix and shit like that. Yo, Leo, he in the car like, hey, Taz, bring your ass on. We gotta finish the video. All this shit, right? And then by the time we get to the
Yeah.
next spot, and I'm just drunk as hell, one of my partners was talking to my cousin and shit, and he like, bruh, I ain't think Taz was like this. I thought he was, more such and such. And that's the thing, like, I felt like, because of my subject matter, it almost made me sound like I was Martin Luther King, Huey P. Newton, Malcolm X, all rolled in one on an everyday basis.
Brought
And it's
one
not to say
together.
that I'm not these things, but it's just more so like I'm a human, dog. I fuck up like
Yeah.
anybody else, yo. I have high levels of happiness and high
Mm-hmm.
levels of sadness like anybody else. You know what I'm saying? I have those moments where I'm cocky as hell and other moments where I'm insecure, just like
Mm-hmm.
anybody else. And it started to become more apparent to me, you know what I'm saying, that I wasn't putting enough emotion in my music. I was putting a lot of bars and a lot of gems in my music, but I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't putting enough emotion, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's been something I've like really just been studying on, like, because I'm really just a student of the game, man. So I listen to so many different people to really study, you know what I'm saying, and to even figure out why it resonates with me. What is this certain side of me that want to listen to Future right now as opposed to listening to Marvin Gaye and shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, like shit like that. So it's just like really just allowing me the space to be me, literally. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, like y'all may have thought Taz was one thing, but y'all don't know Jamel. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I'm so many different things, and within my career, that's what I really want to show. I want to show the duality that every human being has within themselves,
100%. 100%. And even with, evolving into your true self or your truer self, comes need for surrounding yourself with almost different energies, right? I
Mm,
bring this up to talk about collaboration. I've noticed in like the last year and some change, you've been rocking with this group, this label, Oaktown Soul. You kind of want to talk
mm.
about what what types of energies you're surrounded with there, and how collaboration influences you and your art.
As far as like with the whole decision to rock with Oaktown Soul and shit, it really came from a place of like I just spent too long on my own island and shit. And it's something I'm still working on, you know what I'm saying? But I spent too long on my own island. And
Mm,
at one point, I was around Danny and them a lot, you know what I'm saying? And we was doing so much music together, you know what I'm saying? Like me and this nigga Danny damn near got like a joint project in the cuts and the whole shit, you know what I'm saying? That's
yeah, I
still
hear about
supposed to be coming.
that.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that was like really my first taste of like real collaboration. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Mm,
outside of like my usual circle or whatever. And yeah, around that time, you know what I'm saying? It was more so of a thing where I was like, I've already had my own crews before, and for one reason or another, it didn't work out.
yeah.
So I was more so like just more so to myself, closed off from everybody and shit, and was just working to the necklace. After a while, it just became me and Lovey. You know what I'm saying? That was just working together, like no outside people. And then
Yeah.
at one point, bro, me and her got to a point of like, God damn, it is getting hard as fuck just doing this by yourself and shit, we do need like a team of some sort, you know what I'm saying? And with Oaktown Soul, they came to me initially wanting me to be a part of their team a little bit after I dropped my first project in the moment, you know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Um, Around that time, the project was buzzing. I had already got a placement on UFC 4, all the shit like that.
yeah.
And I went over to Honest studio session. And I went over to a studio session and shit. And we was just chilling. He introduced me to a couple folks over there and shit. And they was trying to get me to be down with him, and I'm like, nah, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I got my own thing going. But I would say after time passed, I would say 2020 was very fruitful for me. You know what I'm saying? As a lot of other creatives and shit, if you was able to flip that EDD money right. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
2021 was rough. That was when, that shit had shut down and everything. I'm over here trying to find actual job I can lock into and shit. And I remember I put out my EP Negus in the Sun, and the day I put that shit out, I got fired. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
So it's like fuck, like the money I was going to
Shit.
use to promote my music, I can't even do that. You know what I'm saying?
I can't live off it
So
now. Yeah.
yeah, so it's like I'm really trying to scramble around, figure out what's what and the whole shit. And it just got to a point where I'm like, yo, I like do need a team. And then Oaktown Soul called me back randomly um, after some time and shit, asked me again if I wanted to. And that's when I became more open about collaborating and shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's when I was like, at least willing to, give it a shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't never took a chance like that before. So I'm like, win, lose, or draw, you know what I'm saying? At least I can say that I took the shot. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Um, but I got like real good chemistry with like, the production and all of that they bring and shit, yo. And that's something that I already knew I would have. Cause yeah, I'm saying it's like they were like it's they name it got soul in it, and it's like soul music is one of my favorite genres and shit. So I kind of already knew where I would want to take it with them. I'm like, yo, y'all tapped in with like musicians and all this other shit, and that's a route that I want to go. I was raised around musicians, you know what I'm saying? Like my uncle had his own funk band and shit when I was a kid, so it's like I was raised around that. So I'm like, okay, they're the only people around that really is like, bringing live musicianship into the studio and all that shit. So once it got to that point, you know what I'm saying, of like making that decision to, collaborate with them and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? It became more of a thing where it's like, all right, I was able to like kind of put everybody on board with like the vision that I had set place, at least for this upcoming EP. And even with that, yeah, I'm saying it's like it's been a lot of like, changes. Like I was in the middle of making another project at first, and then all of us I took a trip to LA together and shit, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And while I was out in LA, I had, this epiphany, you know what I'm saying, after talking to this chick on the phone and shit, yo. And she had read my chart and was like, yo, it shows on the chart that you're like a broken healer, a wounded healer. And that shit stuck out to
Mm.
me. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck does that mean? And she broke that down. And I'm like, all right. And I remember even after that, I had like, did a painting for the first time. You know what I'm saying? Like I was at like one of my producer mom's house while we was in LA, and his mom is a very artistic person. You know what I'm saying? Like, she does like damn near junkyard art, where it's like, she'll take
Mm.
scraps from the junkyard and really make something hella creative out of it, like damn near a light figure out of it, all the shit. So her house was a lot similar to the Oaktown Soul Studio, where it's just like, hella people be up in there and shit, you know what I'm saying? They may be there for a point in time or whatever, and eventually end up being out. And it's just a cycle of artists that come through there. And it's like the same thing at my producer mom's house. So while I was there, it was this one woman that I'm cool with, Umami, you know what I'm saying? She
Mm.
convinced me to do like my first painting, and I did a painting of what I felt, and it resembled a lot of what me and this one chick was talking about on the phone as far as being a broken healer. And with that, it was like I had that on my mind for a while, and then I just kind of left it where it was, and we just kind of kept working on the music we was working on when we got back from LA. But one thing I can definitely give them props for is pushing me in a direction to be a little bit more vulnerable. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like, um, they definitely had put that thought into my head and shit, because it's like, I'm in the studio making all sorts of shit, and it's like, they started to point out like, yeah, y'all, it seemed like people resonate with you a lot when you put out more vulnerable music. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
Mm.
would say at one point the proof of that was when I put out On the Corner with KD. Hella people fuck with that. You know what I'm saying? And then
Yeah.
I put out Reservations by myself, and it was even more people that fucked with that. So it's like, oh, okay. I didn't know. Like, basically, I didn't know I was at the point in my career where I can be vulnerable, because I've
Yeah.
kind of always had my career calculated in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like I always felt like
Mm-hmm.
I can't talk about me and my story and my life for real until it get to a certain point. And once I put out that song
Yeah.
Reservations with them, then it got to that certain point where they like, yo, I think people is ready to, really know who you are. You know what I'm saying? So they pushed me into that direction and I'm like, all right, cool, let's go with that. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, now we in this process of like finishing out this shit, you know what I'm saying? And us collaborating on this project was definitely a dope thing, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
I would say like, yeah, yo, it definitely, you know what I'm saying, enhanced my like artistry a lot more, you know? Like I still feel like there's a lot more for me to learn and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? But it definitely enhanced my artistry from one point to another, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, bro, like I would say the musical aspect of everything that like me and Oaktown Soul has been working on has definitely been a good match as far as like where I want to go creatively and where they were kind of already at creatively. It's like, of course,
Mm-hmm.
I had to like kind of keep drilling into their heads the kind of shit that I like. You know what I'm saying? Because they kept like throwing me like for a minute, like the creative process was a little off. It was like throwing me mad beats that I wasn't feeling, and I
Mm-hmm.
had to keep telling them like what my foundation was
Yeah.
and what I
Growing
really
pains.
fucked with.
Mm-hmm.
And after a while, they start coming with some shit that I can really fuck with. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it ended up forming this EP and shit, yo. So yeah, bruh, like um, as far as them producing this EP for me and shit, you know what I'm saying? This is definitely gonna be some dope ass shit that we coming with, yo. Like for real, yo. And it definitely has my mind more open to collaborations and shit, yo. Cause I realized in my career I didn't do that enough. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it shows me that it's okay to bring people into your circumference, and allow them to work with you. You know what I'm saying? And even take
Mm-hmm.
like creative pointers and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because back then I was a lot more sensitive about like my creativity versus being in the studio with them now. And if they was to tell me like, hey, you should change this or change that, I wouldn't necessarily be like so defensive about it. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, Joe, it's like, okay, yo, like it's gotten me into a point where it's like I'm more dedicated to getting better at music um than arguing with people about like where my state of mind was when I created a certain thing,
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yo, it's a lot easier for you to just make the music that people can relate to and understand rather than be like,
Mm-hmm.
nah, see, you don't get it. See, this part went over your head because it's like I got tired of being that person. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I would definitely say they've like helped me in that aspect and shit, you know what I'm saying?
100%, 100%. I mean, collaboration can open just perspectives, and that
Yeah.
we can't see by ourselves, and just it looks like it's giving you a new sense of trust into working with other creatives and other artists. So,
Cause I would
you
say
know,
this, like
I
it
have to
was
agree.
one studio session, bro, where like we was in the studio making shit, you know what I'm saying? And I did this one track, right? Rapping my ass off and shit, gassing, right?
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
it was dope to me. But then one of the producers had called me and was like, "Hey, yo, like it would sound a lot better if you slowed your flow up on this shit, because
Mm.
really it sounds like that your flow is competing with the beat." And that was the
Mm.
first time I heard that be put that way.
Mm.
And I'm like, oh, so this is the reason why people will be telling me to like slow down, because it's
Yeah.
like my raps can be just as fast as the hi hats on that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like the same way how that shit can be at the time. That's how I was rapping, like. So with that being said, I'm like, I never heard it put that way. Like, oh, I'm battling the beat. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
it's like when it was put to me in that context and I listened back to it, I'm like, I get exactly what he means now. You know what I'm saying? It's like I didn't fall into the beat. I'm actively
Yeah.
trying to battle this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, though, yo, like that's because I always came in with the like whole thing of like, it don't matter what beat you put me on, I'm gonna kill anything. But it's like being there, having more studio time to kind of like really decipher what I want. Now it's like I'm getting more pickier about beats and shit and what I
Mm,
rap over and things of that nature. It's like I would just say they've definitely helped with the learning process of artistry in general. You know what I'm saying? Now I would say like my fam has been another huge part of that circle that like
mm,
influences me on different things and reminds me to be all aspects of myself. But I would definitely say with Oaktown Soul, they've like taught me the certain technicals of things and shit when you in the studio and all of that. So yeah,
no, hats off to them. Hats off to them. And hats off to you. Like you for coming on here talking about where you started, how you're evolving, and where you're at now. I got one more question for you if you're down.
oh yeah, sure enough.
When it's all said and done, what does Jamel Griot want to be remembered by?
When it's all said and done, man, I want to be remembered as a person that was able to relate to you on all aspects. You know what I'm saying? Like, and to really show anybody that's listening to my music, like, hey, you can always evolve from a certain place, or
Mm,
don't be afraid to be yourself, like, or hey, I'm going through the same issues as you, kind of thing. Yeah, you know I'm saying, I just really just want to be remembered as like a relatable fucking artist, where it's just like, yo, I was able to listen to him when I was sad. I was able to listen to him when I wanted to turn up.
mm-hmm,
I was able to listen to him when I needed knowledge. I was able to listen to him when I needed some ignorance. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm,
I want to just be able to meet people where they are because I know how much music means to me. And I know how much of a driving force music is to just life in general. You know what I'm saying? And I want to speak on all aspects of life and shit, bro. And just be that person that can give you all ranges of emotions. You know what I'm saying? And just kind of be the soundtrack of the human race. Like,
mm. 100%, 100%. I mean, it's all said and it's all done. Again, I'd like to thank you for coming on here. I'd like to thank everybody who decided to consume some part of this, whether it be the entire thing or just this section here where you see me thanking you. But regardless, it's all love. And now I want to turn it
yeah.
over to you to let people know what you got coming out for the rest of the year and beyond. This is Joe
All
Chance. Let the
right.
people know.
So recently, I just came out with two new tracks. You know what I'm saying? One called "Optimism" with my homegirl Shantae. Um, Another one called "Crash Landing." You know what I'm saying? Both of those is out on all streaming platforms. You know what I'm saying? Under the official name change, Jamel Griot. So you can find all my music under that name on every platform. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I'm working on this EP that I've mentioned a couple of times in this interview, Broken Healer. This EP is definitely about to be one that a lot of folks can relate to, especially if you done caught yourself in a situation shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Right.
this is gonna be, you know what I'm saying, something that a lot of people could relate to, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, yo, we actively wrapping up with this shit right now, you know what I'm saying? Putting
Mm.
finishing touches on it and shit like that. So this is definitely coming out sooner than later, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, like I would just say, yo, stay tuned for this EP, for the new music that's to come about and shit, you know what I'm saying? Because it's gonna be so much more that comes with all of this, you know what I'm saying? And welcome to a new era of my art, man. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Tap in with me. You
Mm.
can find me on Instagram and TikTok. Like those really the usual two platforms I'm on. But you can find me on both of those platforms at Jamel underscore Griot. So Jamel is spelled Jamel. underscore Griot. That is spelled Griot. You know what I'm saying? The T is silent. But yeah, that's how you find me on all platforms. And again, man, thank you for having me on here and shit. I know I
No,
talk a lot. My answers a little long-winded as fuck, but hopefully that, hopefully that served a greater purpose rather than a detrimental one.
no, no. Yeah. More perspective is always good. More context is always good. No one can ever, you can never miscommunicate more context. So
Yeah,
all you
show
mean
enough, show
is
enough.
just give more of yourself, right? So I'm always for artists explaining their cause and their reasoning and you know their fullness behind their artistic capacity. So I thank you again for coming on. Um, yeah, I thank everybody else for listening to. This has been another episode of The Art of Creating Yourself. I'm looking forward to Jamel, your evolution, your new tape, your current singles that we spinning right now, and I'm excited.
Yo,
I'm excited.
show enough, show
I'm
enough. You know what I'm
excited.
saying? Thank you
Yeah,
for having me, man. It's all love to you, Ron.
it's all
Much
love.
love to the camp MTMC. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
And
gang in this.
yeah,
Yep.
bruh. You know what I'm saying? We'll definitely have to tap in soon, bruh.
Yes, definitely, definitely. All right, it's all peace and love, everybody.
Yo,
Peace.
peace.